So, good boy. Gonna be in the video? Hello, ecological fiends. Today we're at the beautiful Uwa Lake in Monte La Salle National Forest. We are joined by my fellow guide and very close friend, Max and Kodiak, aka Cody. Today we are celebrating the 50 subscriber landmark on No Ceiling, which is super exciting, and as is tradition, we're going to exchange some questions with a guest, and we're going to make it a little bit more fun. Since we're in Utah, we've got spiced Brigham rum today, which is Max's selection, and hopefully it'll be very good. It's from Distillery 36, because Utah was the 36th state to complete prohibition or something like that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, to vote down prohibition. And we have to kind of let this set in, so we're going to start with a quick taste and then we'll get into the questions. So Max's family has very deep German roots. His grandfather was actually one of the main translators at the Nuremberg trials, which is super awesome, and he brought something for us to use today.
Family heirloom shot glasses with the family crest, the signet on them. Probably haven't been used in over 100 years. They were in a cabinet, but I got them as a gift from my parents.
And a taste. Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, as far as like hard liquor goes. Never get on camera sober, right? Isn't that what they say?
Who says that?
The opposite of what everybody says.
First of all, you should stick around to the end of the video, because if you've been following the channel at all, you know that we're doing a giveaway, and the giveaway item finally revealed is the aluminum/titanium tire knocker from the Echoes of the Ancients video. So somebody that entered the competition is going to win this, but hang around to the end of the video to find out whomst that is. Very exciting, and if you want to see the origin story of that, just check out Echoes of the Ancients in the section Proven Lands. And you might also recognize Max from the Echoes of the Ancients, because he did all of the drone shots for that.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so we've got two sets of questions here. One set is for Max to ask me, and these are your questions that you've left in the comments or sent to me directly about the channel and about videos. And we've got 5 of those, and then also collected from the audience is 5 questions that I have for Max, but you didn't know that it was going to be Max doing the video, so they're just kind of fun questions and not hyper specific to him as a person. The trick is Max speaks Portuguese, so I've translated the questions into Portuguese and then into ancient Latin, and then back to English. So I'm first going to ask Max the questions, the translated questions, and he'll try and answer them, and then back into the English questions. If there was not a village, in the name of what it was?
That's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah?
I think so.
Okay. The original English of that is, if coffee was illegal, what would its street name be?
Something to do with beans.
Beans.
I think you could just call them beans, I guess.
Beans? That's a good street name.
Cut that out.
I think I might leave it in.
Questions for Cedar, for Scout here. The first one was, when did you sleep during the 80K?
In the part where I cry, right after that descent.
There's a part where you cry?
Yeah. Yeah. It was Hidden Valley.
Were you crying? Why were you crying?
So I went up there, and it was just this brutal hike, and it started snowing, and I was totally exhausted at that point. And it was dusk, and the clouds were like this beautiful purple gold color.
Oh, so it was like you were in awe.
Yeah,
crying.
It was just totally, absolutely overwhelming. And then I got caught, like, I don't want to call it a blizzard because it wasn't quite a full-blown blizzard, but there was definitely a snowstorm on my descent, and I lost the trail a bunch of times. And then when I finally made it to the bottom, the snow was coming down so hard that I couldn't drive. Like, I just couldn't see in front of me, so I decided to sleep in the car because I was so tired. Yeah.
what was the hardest part of the 80? I feel like that might be it.
Yeah, it was either Hidden Valley, because it's a super steep trail that has like probably 1,000 in LE gain. So it was really rough, but I think the hardest part might have been Portal Overlook, which is that's by JC Park, and it's basically this overlook that overlooks the trail. That overlooks Moab, and there's a part where I dangle my legs over the side, but I fell during that ascent, and I hit my knee pretty hard on a rock, and that really hurt. But the trail is just absolutely brutal, and my least favorite trail probably in Moab, even though the view's great, but it was pretty
insane to think that people mountain bike that.
Yeah, that is absolutely nuts that people go up that on
There's
bikes.
all sorts of signs. Did you see the signs that are like, dismount now?
Yeah.
People have died here. People like you.
Yeah, but it's a really rad trail. It's just totally, as far as bang for your buck, like if you're trying to get exhausted in the least amount of time, that's the trail to do it. But it's so, the elevation gain is so intense in such a short period of time. I think it's like close to 1,500 feet within 2 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not fun unless you're, if you're peak bagging, that's understandable. That's what you expect. But in Moab,
You can tell that neither of us are big drinkers.
Yeah. This one's pretty close to the translation. Hot dog is a sandwich?
Oh, God. That's a pretty good question, actually. I'm going to say no. I think by definition a sandwich has 2 distinct pieces of bread that are not connected.
Okay.
And I also think the meat in a sandwich would be not cylindrical.
Okay.
I think a hot dog is its own taxonomical classification.
But the turkey that we found in the dumpster, I would argue that's cylindrical. It's just a thicker cylinder that's sliced thinner.
Okay, I'll give you that, but it's a horizontal cylinder, it's a vertical cylinder, not a horizontal cylinder.
Of meat.
Yes. I think, I guess maybe a sandwich that does have connected pieces of bread would be referred to as a submarine sandwich.
Yeah. Okay.
So that might be where the Venn diagram overlaps.
Yeah. All right. That's a pretty solid argument, actually.
I rest my case.
Distillery 36 is pretty rad too, because they support and use a great deal of renewable energy, and all of their rum and other liquors are all still made by artisans in small copper stills.
Did you follow up on the murder scene? I have no idea what the context is to this, by the way. Did you follow up on the murder scene?
Okay, so what, I'll explain that a little bit for you, and for you if you haven't seen the video, but basically, there was a mining operation going on while I was filming the video, and I saw a bunch of smoke coming out of this area, so I went to go check it out, and there was a ton of ground that had been disturbed, so I was just kind of crawling over that and checking it out with my binoculars, on public land, by the way, nothing crazy. And then when I was leaving, I found this spot. It was like a couple 100 feet from the road, and there was I think it was a shirt and like some rags, an ice pack, a jug of like a Tropicana orange juice bottle, but it was full of water, and then this all kind of together.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so then my initial reaction on video, you caught it. If you go back and watch that video, that I didn't go back and record that twice. It was my original reaction was like, wow, somebody really got killed here, because this says tire knocker, but really that's kind of a liability thing, that tire knocker is printed on this. That way, if you end up having to defend yourself with this from your car, you can say it's in there as a tire knocker. Whereas if you keep a baseball bat in your car, you should also keep a glove and a ball. That way you can say you're going to play ball.
What does it mean to knock a tire?
I think it's just like from olden times when the sound, you'd be able to tell if a tire was full, like dunk dunk, yep, she'll ride.
Okay.
All right, that kind of thing, you know? No, I didn't ever follow up on the murder scene, quote unquote. I don't know if anybody was actually killed there. There wasn't any blood. There was a bit of mud that might have been misconstrued as blood. And I actually had somebody come back and ask me about that individually. I don't think it was blood. I think it was mud. And I hope that nobody was actually killed there. But no, I didn't turn anything into the police, and I didn't report anything at all, because it, in my opinion, is probably just somebody dumping some stuff on the side of the road. But it is, the content that they dropped is a little bit suspicious, in my opinion. Let's try it. You want to try it?
Rum snow cone, yeah.
Proper wacky.
I wonder if my ancestors could be turning in their graves. Oh god. Oh. I don't want to do this anymore. Cedar, whatever the hell your name is.
Ew. That is nasty.
Yeah, it doesn't taste good at all.
They could at the same time fight off toddlers. And how many?
Oh, how many toddlers could I fight?
Yeah, yeah, good job.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean, so a toddler, let's define a toddler first.
I think
A toddler is a kid that is a baby, or a kid that's toddling, so they have to be walking.
yeah.
I have to tell age, like, what, 3?
Yeah, I would say 3 and under, but above 1 year. So walking age to,
So
to
like
3.
1 to 3.
Yeah, about.
I could, do you allow, like, obscenities on your channel, or is it like a PG-13?
I put a walkie-talkie sound over it
Oh,
first, but I'll bleep
okay.
it out.
I annihilate toddlers. I think I could probably take, like, toddlers?
Yeah.
I could probably take, like, hundreds.
Hundreds?
Yeah, I think
Before you
so.
get exhausted?
Yeah.
Oh, so
I mean,
what's your
I could
strategy?
rest. I could rest. I don't think toddlers could do anything to me. Like, what is a toddler gonna do to me?
So you're all right. You're like in the middle of this lake, right? And you're
Yeah.
you're completely surrounded by an endless onslaught in 360 degrees, and they're just coming. And the only way they'll stop is if
Well, say I want to take a break. What are they gonna be doing to me while I'm taking a break?
they'll bite you and they'll scratch you and they'll scream. It's psychological warfare too. It's
The scratching, the biting would be bad. I don't think a toddler could, like, scratch me in a really painful way. Biting, that could get old. But I could, like, climb a tree and break, right?
I guess, yeah.
I would probably climb a tree and, like, take a break and then just go back to annihilating toddlers.
What's your move then? You just gonna like roundhouse kick them, knock them out?
Oh, I would probably pick one up and use it to hurt other ones.
Oh, so like a swing?
Like I think a flail or a morning star.
so violent.
I would probably hold it maybe by its legs or by its arms.
It's like
Yeah, well, their legs or their.
Yeah.
I don't want to be gender specific here. I'm gonna say 1,000.
1,000.
I think I could take 1,000.
before you're overwhelmed.
I mean, I would just climb a tree and break for a while.
But honestly, I don't think it's as hard as most people would perceive, because if you slap a toddler, they'll start crying, and then they're out of the fight.
They're at least out of the fight, yeah.
Yeah.
Come back from later.
Oh God. What?
What is the most amount of the most shots you've taken in like a sitting?
Not much. 3 or 4.
Yeah. I think there's been like a night or two where I've had like 6 or 7. Was it a real flare in the mine?
For the Halloween video, I located a uranium mine, and I went into the mine by myself. I found Cal Applewood, who is a miner down there. I found his skeleton, right? But then something was like following us, caused a bit of a cave-in, and all in all, a nightmare scenario, because I was kind of trapped in the mine. 3 light sources. I had the light that's currently on top of the GoPro right now, and I had a flashlight, a headlamp, and the Lucy light, but all the lights slowly ran out of battery because I was in there for so many hours, just kind of dragging this skeleton out and trying to figure out how to get it out. And eventually this monster thing came up, and my battery on the Lucy light was dying and I couldn't really see, so I had to pull out my emergency flare and light it. And yes, it was a real road flare that I was able to light off of the rocks. And you can go and check that out, because it made some pretty cool visuals as I was sprinting out of this mine. But the thing was that smoke rises, obviously, right? So all this kind of acrid chemical smoke was going up, and my throat was absolutely on fire. It felt like I had eaten a million hot peppers, and I was sprinting in this really cold October air trying to run out. And so it really hurt, and I had a sore throat for a couple days afterward. But so far I don't have cancer from it, so that's good.
One way or another. Yeah.
Ain't that the truth? If you have an ethical issue to find out what you want to run.
How do I decide, like, to make an ethical decision?
Okay. So the translated one is, if budgets and ethics were not an issue, what experiment would you run?
Oh.
You gotta channel your German roots.
Hey, we defected. Slipping, like, LSD to all of the world leaders in some way or another and seeing what the consequences are.
Do they know that they're on LSD?
No. I don't think that's necessary.
Okay.
This is probably my favorite question. Why is your first video so bad?
Okay, so this was a comment that I got that somebody deleted because I responded to it. But the first video is called, I think it's called The Cheekiest Hunk Rafts Down the Colorado River With Us, I think. And the cheekiest hunk that it's referring to is my friend Tim, who we used to drive houseboats together on Lake Powell. And Tim's girlfriend at the time, Autumn, worked with somebody in Moab. So we were all living in Bullfrog on Lake Powell, driving these houseboats, and Autumn had done conservation corps with somebody here. So we came up with them for a weekend to raft, but we realized that we were one life jacket short. But we had the CO2 work life jackets, right? So it explodes when you hit the water, just kind of like poof, all at once. And so Tim drew the short straw, and he had to wear the work jacket. But it was a pretty high water year. That was last summer, or the summer before last summer in Moab.
Oh wow, yeah, that was a very high water year.
Yeah, so it was huge. I mean, it's absolutely bonkers compared to what we're seeing right now. We only have a couple thousand CFS, if that. One of the reasons that the video was so bad was because it was one of my first videos that I was still really kind of figuring out how to do cinematography for this kind of thing. And also it was on a super old GoPro. Right now we're filming on a GoPro Hero 7 Black, but that was on a GoPro Hero 3 or 4, I think. So the technology's outdated compared to this one by over a decade. And so the colors and everything are super bad. It's super blurry and pretty hazy.
Why did they leave their comment?
I don't know.
Do you know who this person is in real life?
I don't know. I mean, we have 50 subscribers now, so I know most of them pretty personally. They're mostly people that I know or people that I have guided. But I don't happen to know that person specifically. And on the 80K video, the Echoes of the Ancients, where I ran 55 miles through Moab, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's pretty fun. Probably my proudest project so far. But he commented, should hike it.
As opposed to...
I don't know. It's just, should hike it.
Very succinct.
Yes, that was pretty funny.
Obviously.
Think?
Here's to you and here's to me, and if by chance we disagree, you and here's to me.
And 50 subscribers.
Whew, put some lead in your pencil.
Is Sasquatch real?
Well, that translated well. No.
No?
No.
Why not?
I think the burden of proof lays on the person making the claim. I don't think it's my responsibility to explain why he doesn't exist. But I mean, I think there would be like some sort of reputable evidence. You know, at this point, there's all sorts of species that have gone extinct in North America. Passenger pigeon, ivory-billed woodpecker, Carolina chickadee, and we have like a lot of evidence and studies, and like we can like track their decline and why it happened, and we know things about like fossils and species that roamed the earth hundreds of thousands of years ago and millions of years ago.
Yeah.
And it's just like too much of like a conspiratorial black hole of like shitty pictures and Discovery or History Channel like Finding Sasquatch, like money grabbing. I just think that like there's no real argument to be made.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
I try to take pictures of wildlife. I'm getting better, which is good.
he's really good already. He's got some awesome photographs. There's what's your favorite photograph that you've taken recently?
Oh, probably a kingfisher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took a picture of a belted kingfisher, a female belted kingfisher. Mostly bird photography. So.
Is that same kingfisher we were chasing?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think it's the same one. I've seen it throughout the years. I think it's always the same bird.
Max's Instagram will be linked in the description, and you can check out that area also in the Echoes of the Ancients. It's Scott M. Matheson Wetlands. That's where we saw the kingfisher, and I guess where you went back and finished the job with a good photograph. So you can see that picture on his Instagram as well. I'm pretty excited because I actually don't have to ship this one out, because the person that won this is Edward Q, who is from Peru. He's my roommate. You might recognize him from some of the CRV renovation videos. You can see him looking at me with disdain as I terribly construct things from the background. But congratulations, Edward. Thank you for being one of the founders of this channel. I'm going to give this to you as soon as I get back to our apartment.
Maybe before the video posts.
Yeah. But thank you so much for getting us here. I hope that these questions were a little bit of a way to pay you back for all the awesome commenting and liking and subscribing that you've done. And if you like this content, please feel free to share the channel. And if you're not already subscribed, click that subscribe button and become an ecological fiend with everybody else. And thanks so much to Max and Cody for joining me for the first ever subscriber special. And I'll see you next time. Stay hungry.
Stay hungry.
That's how I end all my videos.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Okay, this wasn't actually that bad.
No, that was pretty like I definitely got a sweet buzz.
Yeah.
And I had a bunch of bread before.
I really wish we brought a sled to get back down.
I really wish you were a professional YouTuber and could just do this for your job.
Yeah.